Okay, so these are some of the questions that they were there. Okay, this question, very easy. Most biological molecules like DNA or proteins are held together mostly by, so definitely not magic. Weak nuclear forces, no. Most of them are held by covalent bonds. So remember, the answer here is V. And remember that there are different type of bonds. We have some of them that are sharing, donating, or receiving electrons. And there are three main types. The covalent bonds like to share electrons. The ionic bonds like to transfer electrons. And the weak bonds, they are just electrostatic attractions, like what happened in the DNA between nucleotides. But however, the rest, besides the nucleotides, uh, these hydrogen bonds, the rest of the molecules, the sugar, the phosphate, all the other chemical bonds are covalent bonds. Now, let's try to answer this question. Which of the following is a trace element found in the human body? So remember, what is a trace element? There were three type of elements. One that are depend on the distribution in your body. There were one that they were major, minor, and there was another one that there were trace element. So let's try to think. Oxygen is a major one. Carbon, I think, is also a major one. These two could be, which one is the right one? Okay, so let's try to solve it. So as I said, you have major elements that represent 96%. You also have minor that represent only 4% of the human body mass. And here you have magnesium, phosphorus, sodium, and you have a last group that is the trace elements that are essential but are only needed in a very in minute quantities. And here you have iron. So here the answer will be iron. Okay, so go, if you don't remember this question, go to the answer of this question, go to your textbook. Here there is this table, and here they tell you what are the trace elements that you need 0.01. Okay, try to answer this question. Which of the following subatomic particles always has a positive charge? This is really easy. Positive charge. So remember, the atom has positive, negative, and neutral particles. Proton will be positive, neutron will be neutral, electrons will be negative, and the element will have all of them. So which one has a positive charge? And here again, electrons are the ones that are negative, protons positive, and the neutrons don't have a charge. So the answer will be proton. Now let's try to answer this question. A substance cannot be broken down into other substance, but ordinary chemical procedure is a. So this is also super incredibly easy. Yeah. So when a substance cannot be broken by ordinary chemical procedure, a molecule, definitely not. A compound, definitely not. And if you remember the slides, the definition of an element, an element is a substance that cannot be broken down into other substance. So very easy. This is the answer, and this is the definition of an element. Okay, now this question: the atoms of different phosphorus isotopes. So first thing to answer this question is you need to remember what is an isotope. And here we have the easiest isotope. Here you have the different anisotope of hydrogen. So here you have protons and electrons. You change, there is no neutron. Here protons and electrons are still the same, and here you also change. So look, this number is the only one that is changing, because in isotopes the difference is in the neutron number. And all isotopes of a given element have the same number of protons but different numbers of neutrons in each atom. So as we saw here, they have even different numbers. So now let's see what happened with the phosphorus. Yes, it is phosphorus, so they have multiple orbitals. And here if you see, they have 2 plus 8 plus 5. Let's add this one, so they will have 15 electrons. So here you will have that, so they will have 15 plus 15, it will be 30, and you can have more neutrons again. So you can have 31, 32, 33, and the phosphorus can change because there is a small change in the number of neutrons. So very easy, the atoms of different phosphorus isotopes have different numbers of neutrons. You didn't need to know how many electrons, you didn't need to know all the information, just knowing what is an isotope, it was very easy. Now I'm going to talk about the water, the chapter 3, and you can watch a pretty cool video. We already talked about Canada, about the importance of fresh water in Canada. Now I'm going to show you something about my country. I'm going to talk about South America. In particular, we have maybe multiple countries. We're in contact with the Amazon region, in addition to Colombia, Peru, Ecuador, Brazil, Venezuela. And we generally talk about the Amazon in terms of a river, but now I want that you think about a floating river that is a giant river. And all these emerging properties that you study, you will see it in the video and how they are very important, and it's something that is also fascinating. So I'm going to post the link and you can watch it later. This is the video.